Hello and welcome. You're listening to the FluentX English Speaking Podcast, a place where English feels calm, natural, and human. And today's episode is very special because today we're talking about something everyone needs, but many people feel nervous about.
Yes, today's topic is how to talk about yourself in English. Not fast English, not perfect English, but easy, beginner-friendly introductions, the kind that feel real and comfortable.
Let's be honest for a moment. For many learners, introducing yourself in English feels harder than expected.
Because the moment you say, "Let me tell you about myself," your mind suddenly goes blank. You start thinking, what should I say? What if I say something wrong? What if I forget my words?
Yes, that moment. And if you've felt that before, you're not alone.
Here's something important. The problem is usually not vocabulary. It's not grammar.
Here's something important. The problem is usually not vocabulary. It's not grammar.
That's why today we're going to remove pressure first, because calm introductions sound better than perfect ones.
Let's imagine something together. You meet someone new, maybe at work, maybe online, maybe in a class. They smile and say, "So, tell me about yourself."
And inside your head, you're like, oh no, here we go.
Exactly. But here's the truth. That person is not expecting a speech. They're not expecting a story. They're just opening a door.
This is very important for beginners. You don't need to say everything about yourself.
You only need to say something simple. For example, you can start with, "Hi, my name is Mike." That sentence alone is perfect.
And you can continue with, "I'm from Canada," or "I live in Toronto." That's it. No pressure, no drama.
Here's a secret many learners don't know. Pauses are powerful.
Smiling. When you pause, you don't sound weak. You sound thoughtful.
So if you say, "Hi, my name is Mike," pause. "I'm from Canada," pause. That pause is not a mistake. It's confidence.
Some learners think, I don't know what to say about myself.
But you don't need a story. You need facts. Simple facts are enough. For example, your name, where you're from, what you do. That's a complete introduction. Let's talk about one common part of introductions. What you do.
You can say, I'm a student. I work in an office. I'm learning English.
That last one is actually very nice. I'm learning English. It shows honesty, and people respect that.
This part is important emotionally. You don't need to impress people in English.
You need to connect, and connection comes from being real, not from sounding advanced.
Simple English connects faster than fancy English.
Let me say this clearly. Introducing yourself is a skill.
And skills improve with practice, not with fear. You don't fail at introductions, you practice them.
At FluentX, we don't teach introductions like a formula.
We teach them like a conversation. Calm, friendly, human. Because that's how real English works.
So in this first part, we talked about why introductions feel scary, how pressure affects your English, and why simple introductions are powerful.
Smiling softly. In the next part, we'll go deeper. We'll show you how to introduce yourself step by step, how to sound natural, and how to feel confident while doing it.
Welcome back. If you're listening to this part, that already tells me something about you. You're trying, you're staying, you're giving yourself time. And that's exactly how confidence grows.
Yes, and in this part, we're going to do something very practical. We're going to build a real introduction, step by step, the way people actually speak in real life. No speeches, no pressure, just calm English.
Let's start with a simple truth. Good introductions are usually short.
A lot of beginners think they need to say many things, but in real life, people introduce themselves in pieces, not all at once.
Exactly. An introduction is not a presentation. It's the start of a conversation.
So let's imagine a real moment. You meet someone new, they smile and say, "Hi."
That's your cue. You don't need to panic. You can simply say, "Hi, my name is Mike." That's a perfect first line.
And notice something. It's calm, it's clear, it's friendly. You're already doing great.
After your name, the next natural thing people ask is, "Where are you from?"
And this is very easy English. You can say, "I'm from Canada." That's a complete answer.
If you want to be a little more specific, you can add one more sentence. "I'm from Canada. I live in Toronto." That sounds very natural.
And you don't need to rush. You can pause between the sentences. Pauses make you sound confident.
Let's repeat that idea. Speaking slowly does not mean your English is weak.
It means you're comfortable. So saying, "I'm from Canada," pause, "I live in Toronto," sounds calm and clear.
Fast English is not the goal. Clear English is.
After your name and place, people often ask, "What do you do?"
And beginners sometimes feel nervous here. But listen, your answer does not need to be fancy. You can say, "I work in an office."
Or, "I'm a student." Or even, "I'm learning English right now." That last one is very honest.
And honesty always sounds good. Now, let's gently put things together. Not all at once, just step by step. You can say, "Hi, my name is Mike." Pause. "I'm from Canada." Pause. "I live in Toronto."
That's it. That is a perfect introduction. Nothing more is required. Here's something important. When you introduce yourself, you don't need to keep talking non-stop.
You can stop and let the other person respond. That's how conversations work. For example, you say, "I live in Toronto." Then you stop.
And the other person might say, "Oh, that's nice." Or, "How long have you lived there?" And now the conversation continues naturally.
I want to remove another fear. You don't need perfect sentences.
If you say, "I live Toronto," it's not perfect grammar, but people still understand you.
And understanding is the goal. Fluency comes later.
Many learners ask, "How do I sound friendly in English?"
Here's the answer. You don't need special words. You just need a calm tone, a gentle smile in your voice.
Even simple sentences sound friendly when you say them calmly.
Another important thing, introductions are flexible.
You don't say the same thing everywhere. At work, you might say, "I work in IT."
In a class, you might say, "I'm learning English." Both are correct. Both are natural.
Here's a gentle tip. You can practice introductions quietly in your head.
Think, "My name is," "I'm from Canada." "I live in Toronto." No one is watching. No one is judging. The first time feels awkward. The second time feels better. The third time, it starts to feel normal.
That's how skills grow. Not suddenly, gradually.
So in this part, we learned how to introduce yourself simply, talk about Canada and Toronto naturally, use pauses with confidence, keep introductions short and real.
Yes, in the next part, we'll go one step further. We'll talk about adding small personal details, answering follow-up questions, and making introductions feel comfortable, not scary.
Welcome back to the final part of today's episode. By now, something important has happened. Introducing yourself in English doesn't feel as scary as it did before, and that's progress.
Yes, because once the fear goes down, your real personality starts to come out. And that's what we want. In part 2, we built a simple introduction: name, country, city. That's already enough.
But sometimes you may want to add one small personal detail. Not a story, not your life history, just one thing. For example, after saying, "I'm from Canada, I live in Toronto," you can add, "I really like this city."
That one sentence feels warm. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel heavy. It just feels human. Talking about what you like is one of the easiest ways to connect.
You can say, "I like simple things. I like learning new skills. I enjoy quiet time."
You see? Nothing fancy, just honest.
After you introduce yourself, people may ask follow-up questions. This is normal.
For example, someone might ask, "How long have you lived in Toronto?" You don't need a long answer.
You can say, "I've lived here for 2 years," and then stop. That's a complete answer.
This is very important for beginners. You don't need to fill silence.
Silence is not a problem. It gives space to the other person. A pause is part of conversation. Many learners think, "I can't be myself in English."
But that's not true. You don't become a different person when you speak English. You're the same person, just using a different language. Some people talk a lot, some people talk less. Both are okay.
Fluency is not about how much you say. It's about how comfortable you feel saying what you want to say. You don't need to practice introductions forever.
The more you use them, the more natural they become. One day you won't even think about them. This happens to everyone. You forget a word.
When that happens, don't panic. You can pause. You can smile. You can use a simpler word. Communication doesn't stop.
Here's something important to remember. Confidence doesn't come from perfection.
It comes from acceptance, accepting your level, accepting your pace, accepting yourself.
If you're a beginner listening right now, I want you to know something. You're not late. You're not behind.
You're exactly where you need to be, and you're doing better than you think.
Learning how to talk about yourself is just the first step.
From here, everything else becomes easier.
Small talk, daily conversations, real connections.
This brings us to the end of today's episode. Learn how to talk about yourself in English.
Speak calmly. Speak honestly. Speak as yourself.
Your English doesn't need to be perfect to be meaningful.